Yo, what is going on, homies? It's your boy Stumped back for another OPTC video, and in today's video, it's episode 2, the intermediate section of the OPTC from the beginning, or OPTC optimizing your account, and moving on with our new player to mid-game player guide on how to start the game optimally to get yourself towards that higher echelons coming up to the 9th anniversary, or just coming into the game if you're watching this after the 9th anniversary. And in today's video, we're focusing on the intermediate quests and getting to the master missions and sort of how to get these quests done as quickly as possible. Now, if you guys haven't checked out episode 1, make sure to go check that out because there's a lot of stuff there that you need to do before you actually check out this particular video. Remember, you want to make sure you have a very good friend for your invite code, someone available that's going to help you with friend captains because they are going to be very prevalent for some of the harder content in the game. We're going to touch on that in today's video, but we're not going to focus on that. But if you enjoy this kind of stuff, belt the like button. If you're new to the channel, hit the big red subscribe button. With that said, let's dive in. Let's have a look at the intermediate quests. Alright, so just like the beginner quests, there's a bunch of stuff like clear events, clear clashes, clear with a merry go, limit break characters, do the pirate quests, and then do some particular stuff like verse buggy. So we're going to start polishing off some of these missions. It's going to clock us 50 gems and a bunch of other rewards. And as you guys can see there, you can actually pick up some gold tickets. These characters are going to be very, very valuable, and they're very, very powerful units. We're going to touch on them when we actually get there. Alright, so one of the first things we're going to do is we're going to start limit breaking our characters. As you guys can see, one of the events is Evolve, just like in Beginner, but one of the other Chopper Man missions is actually Limit Break units. Limit Break is a very powerful mechanic that actually allows characters to get very, very strong. So, the character we're going to focus on is our GOAT, our leader, our gem, that is the Psi 5 plus Luffy. We're going to start limit breaking him. Now, you only have to limit break like one level, and once you hit master, it like wants you to do particular nodes a certain amount of time. So just be careful not to max everyone's limit break unless you actually are going to get the Chopper Man mission. So as you can see, we're going to get him right up to that final node there. He's our most powerful unit, so we're going to max him out, and he's going to basically carry us through the game. So as you can see, if you just do one node, it activates the limit break one time, but every single node equivalates to one actual buff. It used to be one node, like you had to do multiple, but as you saw there, just to save my Chopper Man missions, I only just popped one limit break, but you can easily max out the character if you need to. Other than that, we're going to keep going through these quests. We're going to do our Pirate EXP. We're going to clear out some clashes and stuff like that, and we're actually going to start popping these missions so we can actually start getting some of those actual characters. If you head over to the Clash, just like we did with Ivankov, we are going to keep making our way through Enel and Kizaru and all these other clashes as well. But Ivankov is one of those characters that I said that you definitely want to farm up, and make sure to use your stamina, because if you are sort of stockpiling stamina, it is just going to go to waste. So don't be afraid to use it every now and again. Alright, so once you do a bunch of these missions, you actually get a bunch of gold tickets. Now, these are a pool of specific characters that are very, very powerful. You get stuff like Quick Beppo, you get stuff like Quick Pudding, you get stuff like Quick Kaku, Strength Usohachi, Dex Alvida. All of these characters are very, very valuable, and you pick them up for free. Obviously, it's RNG to see which ones you actually get. Int Rage is there for some reason as well. It's RNG of what character you actually get, but all of these characters are going to be very, very valuable for your account. So make sure to get these quests done, as these characters are going to be great. Usohachi in particular is probably the one that you guys want to be looking for. Quick Kaku's quite good. Quick Pudding's also very, very powerful. They're great for some of the Garb challenges. But Usohachi is one of those characters that you're going to see pop up for a lot of different play. Rob Lucci, another very good character. Another support special rare recruit for newer players. And these are the characters that you're just going to see like very, very early, even if you haven't done summons. Now, all of these characters are available on banners as well. You can definitely pick them up. And then obviously you also get login Sugofest characters. You get a bunch of other stuff as well. And these Sugofest characters come from that rookie login mission as well. So our first legend of our accounts, besides our Nami, is going to be Quick Bowl. Probably one of the worst legends in the game, even level in Reg 5. Still not a great character, but look, it is definitely something. And compared to what we are using, it's gonna get us somewhere. Definitely gonna get us somewhere. So let's keep popping these tickets and let's see what we get. There's Dex Alvito, not a bad character. And there it is, Usahachi. That's the character we're looking for. That character right there is one of the best rare recruits in the entire game. So if you pull him from your rookie tickets, be very, very happy because that character is going to get you through a lot. And he's a Straw Hat, so he goes on Luffy's team, and that way you can double Usahachi. Let's go. You love to see that. Let's see what else we can get. Alright, so once you've done like a bunch of quests, you can basically get down to the fact of like complete 10 intermediate quests before you can unlock more intermediate quests. So remember, just like I said with the previous video, whenever you do your EXP quest, you need to make sure you find Marco friend captains. This is the moment where you message that friend and say, yo, I need your Marco up, I need your Jack up. And remember, if you have the anniversary Sunny, you're going to get 3 times XP here as well. So you're going to be seeing a lot more gains than what I'm actually going to get right here. I still get a lot of XP because I'm using my Luffy as captain for the 1.25 and then the Marco for the 2.25. But if you tripled this as well, like the amount of levels that you'd guys be getting is absolutely insane. Now remember, every time you level up, you get a meat for your stamina refresh. So you should be well over like 100 meats at this point, which is just absolutely absurd to think about. And it allows you guys to just continuously play the game over and over again. On top of that, every single mission the first time you do it is free stamina. So always remember that. If you run out of stamina and you don't want to use your meats, you can easily just go through and just clear a bunch of clashes, clear a bunch of XP quests, the clash assists, all of that kind of stuff. The Recollective Archive, if you unlock something for the first time, you are going to have that that free stamina as well. The Recollective Archive is something that's going to get touched on in the master quests, but you can definitely activate this if you know you're not going to be getting to those master quests at that particular point. Getting to level 150 gives you some gems, and that's why you want to find a friend and put that friend code in. Get another special rare equip for doing the 10 missions, and we can keep moving on with those intermediate quests. As you can see, we get a bunch more. You clear 21, you get a red ticket. There's a bunch more stuff here, and this is where stuff starts to get a little bit tricky. But before we get into that, we got some more tickets. So let's see what other characters we can use to bolster our accounts. It's going to definitely help us out with Beppo. Great support character. You also get a free-to-play int lore. So this Beppo on that lore can be something that you do use for something like threshold removal. And that's going to be very, very nice to use. Dofi, another very, very good character. Great for striker teams and has double special activation. Now that we've hit pirate level like 150, I mean, this is going back, but like I wanted to record anyway. But now we've hit pirate level 150 or even 120, you get access to Pirate Rumble. Pirate Rumble is going to be a bunch of missions that we need to do for intermediate. So make sure that you are using those Marco captains to get the level up, because you do need this for your intermediate quests. So as mentioned, Pirate Rumble is something that we are going to need to do to get our intermediate and our master quests done. In master, we have to level up particular Gather Island stuff, but we'll talk about that once we get there. As for now, we're going to have to do some rival matches, and we actually have to win them. So to do this, we are going to need to use the refresh button to our advantage, and with Pirate Rumble, you can only do 3 matches every single day. As mentioned in the beginner video, make sure to go check out the lesson time playlist. There's a whole video on Pirate Rumble, and it'll help you guys out there. So when you go into Pirate Rumble, I'll do this little tutorial video for you. It helps get an understanding for the game mode, and you can kind of just throw all your Straw Hats onto a team for now, because at the moment we don't really have that many good Pirate Rumble or that many good legends to be using for this particular game mode. For the meantime, we're just going to use it to our advantage to maximize our gains and get more growth. So just make sure that you're doing as much as you can here, but don't stress if you can't do it all, because it is a fairly pay-to-win game mode, and for now, we're playing very free-to-play, and completely free-to-play if I'm honest. We haven't even done a single multi. We've just been getting those free tickets for our accounts, but as you can see, the game mode isn't overly like crazy hard. Make sure to hit that fast button down the bottom there. It makes the game mode move a lot quicker, and as you can see, we can take out the Straw Hats. Every time you do one of these quests, it opens up a new ability on your Gather Island, and again, we'll touch on that in the expert missions or the master missions, but for now, just try and do as much as you can with what you have. You're not going to be able to do all of this on day one. I couldn't do it all on day one. I think I got up to around where the Marines are, probably a little bit before that actually. So for the meantime, you're just going to have to like do your very best to beat as much as you actually can. Once you've done this sort of tutorial side of things, that you use the challenge permit, all that kind of stuff, it brings you into a particular mode where you can actually fight players. The single match, that's where you're going to find those tutorial missions to bolster your extra island. But the rival match is going to bring you up against a whole bunch of other players. Now, a lot of other players are going to be a lot more well established than what we are. Remember, we're not even a day into this account, and that's okay. However, most players, and there's some opportunities you will find at the very top, which are a lot weaker teams, and a lot of people will just put up like one unit. Those people are absolute gods, because you can actually just use the refresh button. These downloading screens too, by the way, are killing my life, so I do apologize. It's making it easy for me to talk, but like, still, like, come on, internet. So as you can see, that top fight is going to be the easiest. The bottom fight is going to be the hardest. And you can hit that update button up the top there to just continuously refresh your fights. So that way you can sort of find a new opponent, a new opponent, a new opponent. Once you find a one character at the top, that's where the one we're actually going to fight. So clicking update, it's going to download again and take forever. But that's okay. Take your time with this. You get 3 fights a day, and make sure you're maximizing your gains, because you do need to win these fights to actually get the most out of your account. Alright, so there we go. That's what I mean. We found a single opponent. Whether it's a legend, whether it's something crazy, don't stress, because a 1 versus 8, you're pretty much going to win every single time, because you can just continuously knock back. So this guy's using just Kaido, and this is what you want to try and find every single time. Just guarantees you a win, and then you can just keep going bang, 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 and then you will be actually good to go. So, let's take down this Kaido. Let's get rid of him. We're going to turn on order and SP assist. It just makes like the game mode a little bit easier to see. As you can see on the left there now, we can see when Kaido's attacking. And notice every time we attack, it actually knocks Kaido back, so he's actually not going to attack. So he's meant to be next in the chain after Jinbei, but after a special, after a Jinbei attack, Jinbei didn't attack, so he's not going to get knocked back. So now we're going to take Kaido's single attack, but only 1 unit takes it, and now we have all of our units attacking once again. Frankie's going, so now Kaido's just hit the chain there after Luffy. But now when we hit him, he got knocked back, so that means Jinbei's going in front of him. Now Frankie's going in front, he got knocked back in the order. Notice every time we attack, we have that ability to knock him back. This just means we get more damage out. He's not going to be doing any damage to us. Again, knockback. Now Robin goes, now Luffy goes. And it works insanely well. So make sure you're just finding these 1 fights. You will find them, don't stress. It might just take a little while. And the only time you're ever going to like wipe is if like the enemy's like Doflamingo or Akainu, but you have a bench, so like you are going to be okay. As you can see there, we got the win. You're going to do this every day, three times every day, and that way you can continuously get up those missions, especially once you go into Master. Alright, as you can see, we found a Roger Whitebeard, another very good PvP character, but it doesn't really matter because 8 against 1, even if they pop their special off, you are going to be absolutely fine. As you can see, we got another win there, and that's going to be our 3 wins for the day. Every time you log into the game, you want to make sure you do this. But even as an early player, once you hit the master missions, using a gem here is not the end of the world. So as I mentioned, there are the single matches, and these are going to bolster up your extra island, or your gather island. As you can see, it's starting to get very, very challenging by the time we get to the Corinda Coliseum, but I did want to showcase that this is where you do have a bunch of Chopper Man missions as well. So and this is where we're going to complete up to 21 intermediate missions. Now we got a red ticket there. We've done some rumble matches here and there as well, and this is going to be very, very good for our gather island. Defeating, like I said, every time you defeat something, it takes you to this island, and you can start unlocking everything. You can activate it. You get a bunch of stuff every single day. It's just basically free stuff for your account. So make sure that you guys are actually getting this done. Once you've done that, you get a bunch more tickets. So we're going to pop these tickets, see how we go, see what we get. And this is sort of the best way to sort of bolster our account without using any gems. So remember, at the moment, we haven't done any multis. We haven't summoned it all. There's that crazy starting Sugofest banner, which you definitely can summon on if you aren't a week out from anniversary. But literally, anniversary goes live for us in a week's time. So look, I would definitely save your gems if you are starting now or when you see this video. But if you are watching this video later down the line, then look, summon on that banner. Try and get the most out of those multis and try and get to at least Roger if you are doing free-to-play stuff. Mihawk Prono is a pretty interesting character. We'll definitely take it as one of our reds. So, look, we'll take it. We'll take it. All right, so we still have a bunch more intermediate quests. We're going to start working on these, and I'm just going to fast forward. to where we basically finish them off. Alright, so a lot of these ones are basically do Pirate Rumble matches, and this is what I mean. You can happily use gems to get these missions done quicker, otherwise you're going to have to wait a couple of days. Now, using a couple of gems to get this done is definitely worth doing to get these missions done as quickly as possible, especially if you are doing that, if you're doing that Sugo Fest banner, you definitely want to get these done as quickly as possible. And as you can see in PvP, using challenge permits and winning gives you a bunch of rewards. So doing this is not a bad idea to bolster your account because you're still getting rewards from doing PvP, including the gems back that you are actually spending. So definitely be using gems here to sort of maximize the gains that you can grab, finishing the intermediate quests, and getting onto the master missions as quickly as possible. Alright, so we found another one fight, and this one was a very, very easy one, so shout out to this guy. Just a one tap, one and done, see you later. So, we're going to get that done, and then that is going to pop our last intermediate quest. It's going to give us the 50 gems, and then we can move on to those master missions, where things start to get a little bit spicy. Once we hit these master missions, though, this is where the game starts to slow down. Like, all of these quests are going to take a little bit of time because there are a lot of things we have to do, like leveling up special, evolving characters, and then leveling up these gather trees, which you're not going to be able to do because you need to get them to level 10. You're not going to be able to do them until we actually finish a season of until you finish a season of PvP. So this is going to be the next episode in the quest, but there is one more thing I want to touch on before we actually move on to these master missions. Going back to our absolute goat of a character, the character that's carrying us through all the content, this character has an updated captain ability that we do want to get access to. Once you can unlock this particular spot right here, you get a much better captain ability with great utility and more XP. You really want to try and get this done for the master mission, so that way you can start getting more and more XP. The downside to this is you have to do the GARPS challenges, specifically 1 to 15. Now, GARPS challenge 1 to 10, you can basically auto. It's very, very easy to do and very, very attainable. However, as you can see, we've managed to just, absolutely blitz our way all the way to 12. I do remember 11 being a little bit challenging, but once you hit GARPS Challenge 12, things start to get a little bit hard for the squad that we actually have. So I maxed out my limit break for my character, and this is where we're going to hit up our friend captain once again. Characters like Versakainu, Ace, and Yamato, Straw Hat Crew V2, V1, Blackbeard, 6+ level limit break 5. All these characters are going to be very, very good to do these missions because they have some cheese mechanics like burn, going through barriers, and stuff like that. Another thing I would highly recommend doing is getting your Frankie max limit broken because he has the ability to barrier pen when you are above 50% HP. It's a very, very powerful ability and is very, very good for very annoying barriers and content that is just very finicky. Once you make your way to GARPS Challenge 15, I would highly recommend finding a friend Blackbeard V1 level limit break 5. I do understand that is probably going to be very hard to do, but I do have a Blackbeard. Feel free to reach out, say, Stump, I'm a new player, I really need a Blackbeard, or reach out in the Discord. There are going to be people that would happily put that unit up for you. And then you can kind of go from there. And with the Straw Hats, you can easily build out the Blackbeard team. You need a slasher, a striker, a shooter, and a fighter. Luffy's your fighter, Zora's your slasher, Nami's your striker, and Frankie's your shooter. Then you're covered, and you can bring Blackbeard, and he's a rainbow captain, and it works exceptionally well, as this content has a lot of barriers. However, I do want to state right here, is this content is not easy, especially for a newer player, and I do apologize that I didn't record my entire run, but it did take me a couple of tries to actually get this done. But if you guys are struggling with this and you do want some help, let me know in the comment section below, and I'll happily rerun it, and then I can sort of showcase how to beat this content very easy as a new player with these size Straw Hats. Once you get to the end of the quest, you come up against Rob Lucci, and as you can see, Rob Lucci is a bit of a pain in the ass. He does a bunch of block orbs and very annoying stuff. You actually get removed sound effects as well, and throughout the quest, you get a very annoying, a very small orb buff. You can actually increase it with Luffy though, which is kind of nice, and I would highly recommend getting the 1000 Sunny coated vessel for this because you can use that for damage reduction and helps with tanking damage. As you can see, we're on this final stage. We got very unlucky with our what's it called? We got very unlucky with our orb roll, which kind of sucked, but look, it is what it is. We got one matching orb, which was nice. It was basically all we needed to actually take down Lucci. Remember, a lot of my characters aren't like max leveled and limit broken and stuff like that. I was kind of just like winging this to try and get our hands on the silver key, because once you do finish this quest, it gives you that silver key that you need to limit break, expand your Luffy. Now, that is actually going to be one of your master missions, so I would recommend doing this after you finish your intermediate. After you finish intermediate and you want to try this, you can easily pop it off, but there is another way to get a silver key by farming up a bunch of turtles for the point farming event against Marco. That is another way to do it. It's the last point farming event. Definitely farm that up. But as you can see, we get ourselves a silver key there, and we are definitely going to be using this on Luffy. Using it on Luffy accesses a much more powerful captain ability, because at level limit break 5, you are a rainbow captain, you massively buff Sai, plus you get despair and paralysis removal. On top of that, you get 1.5 times extra XP, and so whenever you're doing more content, it means you're going to get more XP and get up your pirate level, as well as getting more meats for your account. But that's going to wrap up the video. Intermediate quests are done. Stay tuned for the master missions in the next episode. If you did enjoy the video, make sure to go down there and belt the like button. If you're new to the channel, you haven't done so already, hit that big red subscribe button. Most importantly though, wherever you guys are in this beautiful world, please remember to enjoy the rest of your day. As always, homies, thank you for watching, and I'll catch you all in the next one. Lates!